We are currently at the Doctor Who talk at Cardiff Comic Con. We're front row, and Andy is so excited he might just have to dance. It's gone quiet.
Andy in the TARDIS.
It's alright, I'm just moving the finish. Like it there?
It's Colin.
It's good there? Good.
And we've got Colin there.
Up a bit, down a bit, left a bit.
I think that might be what.
Lovely long thin room. Would you like
I
to
think
sit
Colin
down?
should win our fez.
Right.
No.
Oh,
Are we good?
I'm good. Are you good?
Yeah.
My name's Colin. What's yours?
Alex.
Ben.
Sexy.
Alec. There's an audience called Alec.
Alex.
Alex.
There was an Alex, and there was a sexy there, which I think is a great thing to have.
Sexy.
She called herself sexy.
No, the Doctor calls me sexy. Calls his TARDIS sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be one of those days. Colin. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are we?
Oh.
Do you know who this is?
No.
Well, I'll tell them who this
Don't
is.
say that.
No, this is Gary Russell. The great Gary Russell.
Big hand for Gary Russell. Big hand for Gary
Big finish.
Who I know as Dick from the famous Five. The original television version many years ago, who became the supremo of Big Finish before Nick Briggs, and left to become script editor down in Cardiff, and is now off to Australia. Is that allowed? Is that public information?
Yeah, that's fine.
To produce a television series over there. So we are in august company here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Woo!
And I missed out on Marvel Comics Doctor Who magazine.
Moving on.
One of my oldest and closest friends.
Until today. Oh, you see, wearing Crocs still. You see, most people, I think Colin deserves a round of applause. Wearing Crocs, and that's a very daring thing to do because they went out of fashion at least 5 years ago. And you are a sort of, you're an exponent of the Croc. You're the first person I ever met who wore Crocs, and you still are now.
And Converse, are those Converse?
These are Converse. This is style.
They went out 4 years ago.
This is style.
I'm only slightly ahead of you in the out-of-date state. Is that because David Tennant wore Converse?
Yeah. There you go.
I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk about Doctor Who because
I want to talk to you about Crocs.
Is this so you'll get some extra
I've
spare
got
pairs?
10. They're very mean. I've had to buy every pair I've got. And I tweeted my crop rack recently. Anybody here see that? Yes. I got a crop rack on the wall,
Oh, yeah,
and I had my crops graded by colour. So I should have had my beige ones on today, but unfortunately I got these ones.
Well, they sort of match your top.
Yeah, match your shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a feature.
So, we're talking about shoes that none of you can see. All I can say is count yourself lucky.
The most comfortable shoes. I have no other shoes now.
I'm like that with Converse.
I got black ones for funerals.
Oh.
Charming. Colin, I want to talk to you about the jungle.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh, right.
I want to talk to you about the jungle because you went into the jungle for I'm a Celebrity, which I think you shone in.
Well, do you know, I will dispute that. Well, I hadn't watched it. I watched it 2 weeks ago for the first time, because obviously I didn't watch it when I was in it.
Yeah.
And my family had recorded it, and they kept saying, you've got to watch it, you've got to watch it. And in the end, 6 months, 7 months after I'd done it, I sat down. I was hardly in the wretched thing. All you could see was me kind of torpidly sitting around the place looking half asleep. Like a three-toed sloth.
Well, that's you. Is that not?
Yeah, true. But it featured, well, Helen Flanagan mostly,
Yeah.
in the first few weeks, and Eric Bristow, who was very funny, and is my very good friend, and we are still in touch with each other. But I didn't feel that I came across anything
I
other
think
than
that's probably
that
because
bloke
you
in the background
watched
there.
it in one long go. When you're watching it nightly, which I loyally did for you,
Hey.
I didn't. I was watching Helen Flanagan. And I just thought you came over really...
Oh, no, you weren't.
Thank you. I'm trying to be nice. No, I'm not. But no, I thought you came over really, really well. I don't diss yourself on that.
Well, I don't think I came over badly, but I didn't seem to do much, whereas I was doing quite a lot. I emptied the dunny. That was my job. Not something they feature in the programme.
No.
But I thought, what can I usefully do here? Can I cook? No. Can I walk half a mile and carry logs like David Hay? No. Can I empty the dunny twice a day? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, hang on. You just said, can you cook? No. That's not true, because you can cook. Because after all, you did sort of win Celebrity Come Dine With Me.
I did.
So you can cook,
Well,
because that's not cheating. That isn't cheat, did it? They didn't fix that in any way, shape or form.
No, they didn't. But just like Doctor Who, I couldn't walk onto a set and do Doctor Who. I have a week's rehearsal. I knew I was doing Come Dine With Me, so I got one recipe, and I fed my family on it for a week until I got it right. And that's what I did. It's the only meal I have ever cooked. The same meal over and over and over again. For a week, and I got it right. But that's what I'm amazed other contestants in those programmes don't do the same. But they seem to just turn up and with some ingredients and try and do something with it.
I think that's because they're doing the spirit of the game. They're not cheating by doing it weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Not that you're cheating, darling, at all.
No.
No, never.
Oh, you utter creeps. Laurie, would you ever
Well,
do
they
reality
know I am the
television?
doctor.
No, I haven't. No.
But would you go in the jungle or anything like that?
No, I don't like the jungle. No, snakes I'm afraid of. You'd be sleeping there and sitting trails underneath them.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have one?
It happened. Well, David A was walking down the track into the little area where we all were with our smoky fire, and he said, "Oh, look, there's a snake," and this snake came across the track in front of him. And at that point, the word snake, a bush on the hill beside us stood up. And it was a camouflaged, unbeknownst to us, we were constantly under, not just the cameras, but there were guards there to protect the wildlife from us and vice versa. And this bush got up, and he had a hat with a bush on it, and he came slowly, as we said, down the hill, as this snake made its way towards Eric Bristow's hammock, which he wasn't in at the time, and grabbed it behind the head, and held it up above his head, and its tail touched the ground. It was over 7 feet long, and it was a carpet python, apparently. And he marched off into the distance with it. We never saw that bush again.
Seeing as you just said that you're in the two Doctors, if you could work with any of the current Doctors that are still alive, so Tom Baker or to Matt Smith, or even Peter Capaldi, as it even hasn't started yet, who would you choose to work with?
Who would I choose to work with?
Yeah.
I suppose I have to say Peter Capaldi now, because that's possible. The others are unlikely. But in real terms, I'd probably say Matt Smith.
Woo!
Because I think Matt had a quality of, it looked as if it was really happening to him at that moment. I'm not saying any other actor doesn't do that, but there was something about Matt that was kind of, it sounds like an awful actor word, organic, but it was really happening at that moment. And from what I hear, he's kind of random to work with. And I love working with people like that. This business is full of very, very professional people who hit their mark, do the same thing time and time again. And that's what you have to do in the main to get work done. But every now and then you work with somebody who is throwing you the curveball. And you either like that or you don't, and I love it. So to work with someone like that, I would find exciting. Well, I bet he wants me to open a Fate in Brighton or something, because John, I got to know through doing the Peter Davison story, Arc of Infinity. And we got on rather well. It never occurred to me he was ringing me up to invite me in to offer me the part of the Doctor. And I've always been quite proud, and I know it's awful to big yourself up, but I didn't have to do an audition, I didn't have to do a film test, anything. I was just offered the part after talking to John. And the good thing about that is it's so empowering. I turned up on the first day on set, and I felt more relaxed than I've ever felt of any job in my life. Walking in there knowing they wanted me to play the part. And I loved every second of it. what was the other part of the question? What was I doing?
What were you thinking about?
What was I thinking about when I got the job? Can I beat Tom Baker's record?
Yeah.
Which you have.
Serves me right. Well, I have, of course. Yes, thank you very much. It's artist.
Got a question here?
Hello. As you know, Peter Capaldi is pretty much, he's sort of like, he's in the same position as you, because he's been in the show before he was the Doctor. Yeah. So my question is basically, how did you react to, how did the fans react? What was it like? Were there any pressures for you? Did you feel any pressure to the fans sort of saying he's been in the show before? Yeah.
No, I didn't. It's weird. I should have done.
Yeah.
Looking back, why didn't I? I was just at a point in my life when I just went, yes, and dived in. Whereas if I'd been asked to play a small part in Doctor Who, I'd have probably been a lot more nervous because, they might not like what I'm doing. But I never felt anxious about it. And all I thought is, they've asked you to do it, do your best. And I hurled myself into it.
Yeah.
Got another one at the back here?
Other than your own, who has been your favourite companion? Who would you most like to have worked with?
You mean apart from Nicola and Bonnie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, again, I'm going to be partial because of friendships. One of my closest friends is Louise Jameson, and I think Leela would have presented an interesting challenge to the Sixth Doctor. I think Leela's random, violent nature might actually have toned down my Doctors, because I was perceived as being a bit aggressive at the beginning. I think if I had to deal with someone like Leela, it would have been very interesting. And because I love Louise, and she's in one of my other favourite programmes, which is Doc Martin, which starts again tomorrow. I like Doc Martin. I like Martin Clunes. That dog, you know that dog he's always kicking? That's his own dog. The one that follows him around and goes, get out of it. That's his own dog. I love that. He doesn't really kick it. It's only pretend, isn't it?
Yes.
Maybe.
So what's this series you're doing in Australia? Isn't it? What is it?
It's a children's cartoon, 26-part children's cartoon.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because it hasn't been...
Oh, you
Well, it
haven't
has
written
been
it?
written, but it hasn't been signed off yet, so...
Oh, right.
It's all a little bit...
Oh, is it?
But it's nothing
Oh, have I
to my
embarrassed
doctor.
you?
No, not the slightest.
I think it's
I should
brilliant.
just kill you later.
Steve him off that.
I'm
I'm excited about that. Because this is one clever dude.
Yeah.
Woo!
He's written some of my best stories as well, both in novel form and for Big Finish.
Thank you.
Aw.
My final question to you both is I'm going to start with Laurie. Laurie, had you watched a lot of Doctor Who before being in it, or while you were in it, or since being in it? Is it a show you followed, or was it just another job to you?
Yeah, I watched mainly the old stuff. I haven't seen much of the new stuff. With Matt Smith, I've seen some of that, but nothing. I don't watch it regularly. No.
And Colin, were you a watcher?
Yeah, I remember watching the very first episode. I was a law student then, I wasn't even an actor. And I was at the College of Law in London in Lancaster Gate. And I remember coming back on the Saturday afternoon of 23rd November 1963, walking into my flat, which was a basement flat with a flight of stairs going down like that. And I put my coat over the banisters and said hello to my flatmates who were down below. And at that point, up on the screen came the opening titles of Doctor Who, first episode. And I leaned there, watching it, and I was still there 25 minutes later when it finished. Riveted, and we all went, wow. Because however much you may look back at that now and think the flickering black and white and the shaky sets that we're supposed to remember, it was groundbreaking. It was one of... It was,
the music was... Music was...
Yeah, everything about it. And on that shaky set thing, if you talk to people that way, oh, we used to love the shaky sets, no, they didn't. They didn't know they were... All television was like that then. It's only because you look back at it now, having seen the sophisticated stuff we can do on television now, and cannot believe that you watched that and accepted it, But you did. Those people did watch that, and that was what all television was like, not just Doctor Who. And we didn't love the shaky sets. We didn't notice them, because that's what television was. And it was groundbreaking, and it was brilliant, and that's why it's lasted 50 years!
On which note, we're bringing this down to a close. So I'd like to thank Laurie and Colin and say, Doctor Who, 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.